Today we are going to show you how to write headlines at work. Welcome to Copy Hacks. Giddy up! We're going to give you 6 tips for writing headlines at work in this video. But don't forget that before you start writing, you need to do your research. We've got some great videos on this channel about mining voice of customer data, so be sure to check those out. All right, so the goal of a headline is simple: to get you to read the next line. Improving your headlines can lead to higher conversions, more sales, and happier clients. And here's the cool thing about happy clients: they tend to pay more and chase you with torches and pitchforks less. Poor Frankenstein, he just wanted to be loved. This might feel opposite to a copy hack, but if you want to write headlines at work, you have to work at writing headlines. One and done ain't gonna cut it.
A lot of people are writing one headline and going with it. We don't need to try any others, just go with that one. But you're leaving a lot on the table. That you need to get more options out there. You need to get more options on the page before you can say that's the winner.
How many headlines should you try to write? We like to say 50 minimum. Okay, breathe. It's not as crazy as it sounds, and it's way less scary than how our friend Justin Blackman wrote 10,211 headlines in 100 days. More on that later. But you have to write at least 50 to keep yourself from writing lines that are stale and safe. Here's Joe.
I'm not saying small variations on headlines. I'm talking about a range of headlines, trying things that are dumb, using words that will never make it to the end, because there are no bad ideas when you are brainstorming. And that is ultimately what's going on when you're writing 50 different headlines.
Okay, we promised you 6 tips on how to write headlines at work. So here we go. Include a time limit. It may not seem like much, but it can help you make your offer seem more real to your reader. Check this out.
So the core is bring your financials into focus. How do we write? That's headline 1 on your list of 50. How do we now move to make that better? So the first tip was include a time limit. So bring your financials into focus turns into bring your financials into focus by this time next week. Great. You've got 2 headlines. Cool.
Next, make it an open-ended or curiosity-piquing question. Closed yes or no questions you generally want to avoid, but ones that open people's minds can create a gap in your reader that they'll look to your solution to fill. That's just good for business.
What if you could bring your financials into focus by this time next week? So we're keeping the time frame thing. We're asking a question. It's opening up someone's mind to like, what if I could?
Third, replace lifeless words with, life-filled words. There's a lot of marketing copy out there that's written hoping that people will passively consume it and just move on. We're fans of getting some friction in there. Not friction for the user, but something that forces their eyes to stop from glazing over. Friction that doesn't let them ignore you.
Try a bunch of different options. Bring your fuzzy financials into focus. Okay, we knew bring your financials into focus was QuickBooks trying to use alliteration. We can push that further. We can still do what the marketer is going to be happy with by using that alliteration, but use a different word. What's a fuzzy financial? That's something that I might actually remember when I walk away versus bring your financials into focus. Focused financials are the zeitgeist of your business. Okay, what? So again, pushing in words that you're not used to seeing in marketing copy.
Fourth, replace empty words with word pictures. These are great for helping your reader visualize how your offer solves a problem for them. And using word pictures is also great for pushing you out of your comfort zone to try new ideas.
It's pushing you, it's making you try other things, like a heart rate monitor for your business finances. Something visual, at least your prospect is likely to pay attention at this point. It's going to wake them up.
Fifth, use formulas. As Joe says, if you're not referencing formulas, you are not copywriting yet. It's real handy to keep a swipe file to drive new ideas. If you don't know what a swipe file is, head to the Copyhackers site and search for swipe file. And if you like free things, and who doesn't, check out the description on this video for a headline formulas template you can use inside Airstory, our free writing software. A free template for free software, that's double free. Sixth, don't be afraid to toss it in the digital garbage and start from scratch. Sometimes you'll write 50 headlines and it turns out you nailed it on the first try. Other times you'll write 50 and none of them are working. Be like Elsa and let it go. My scriptwriter has 2 young daughters and it shows. One way to find out if you're on the right track with your headlines is with what we like to call the 3-person exercise.
So imagine 3 people, not 100 people. You're writing for, there's tons of people who will read your copy. But think about 3 people. They're standing in a parking lot, bored, or they're at their desk collaborating on something and they're bored. Can you write? Do the headlines you write actually engage them? Do they capture their attention or not? If they don't, they probably are not good enough. You need to keep pushing. If a lot of your headlines do not pass this test, then you need to write more than 50. You need to write 100. You need to push it until you get to a place where you're so uncomfortable because you've been trying so hard that you actually have headlines that are more likely to get these people to have this reaction we're seeing here. If you want it to be funny, they should be laughing hard. If you want it to be like terrifying, which hopefully none of us do, then they should be terrified.
Speaking of writing 100 headlines, Justin Blackman did just that. Actually, he wrote 100 headlines a day. Actually, he wrote 100 headlines a day for 100 days. That worked out to 10,211 headlines for 100 different brands, one hellacious writing exercise, and one exhausted writer with a very understanding family. But it did help Justin sharpen his skills, get quicker at writing headlines, and find his voice. And here's one of his biggest takeaways.
One thing that this project really helped me do is develop empathy. I talk about, I make an allusion to the movie Freaky Friday or Trading Places or any of the movies where people change bodies. It came to a point where I would literally close my eyes and pretend that I was becoming that person. And what would be on my desk? What would I be feeling? What emotion would I feel like? And really just try to become that consumer. And then I would just approach the lines in that style as that person.
Thanks for watching. If you're looking for more tips on how to write great headlines, be sure to click the subscribe button. New videos are added every single week. Click here to check out some more videos and drop us a line in the comments section. Let us know what you'd like to see us cover on the next Copy Hacks by your very good friends at Copyhackers.